Okay, here's an important video. I just got in a taxi with an Algerian. Now, I'm not stoked that there are so many foreigners in my country, but I'll speak to a man and I'll appreciate him for who he is. And that poor guy, he was 39, and he was telling me how and I could play this as a tape recording if I wanted to. Not that I recorded it, but my point is that it's the same old story. Another man whose wife has divorced him and who never sees his kids and who is paying child support for them, and he's completely been disempowered in his own family, in his own home. You know how he feels about his wife? Not very pleased. Do you know how he feels about women? Not very pleased. Our society is being destroyed by feminism. Destroyed. Destroyed. I will not allow it to continue. I cannot. I'll do every single thing I can to destroy feminism. Utterly. I will destroy it myself if I have to. I'll figure out a way. There's a way to do anything, and I will destroy feminism myself if I have to, somehow, some way. It is a poison to society, utterly. I would happily sit and debate this with anyone from any background, whomever. The most vicious feminist idiot, you sit them in front of me and I'll hear them out. And I will prove them wrong. Happily. And I won't even break a sweat. And they'll be sweating profusely because they don't think. Because feminism doesn't rely on people thinking. It relies upon them regurgitating crap that's been fed into their brains. It's irrational. It's garbage. It's false programming. It's lying. And it's destroying families. It's destroying our society. And the people responsible for it are sitting there going, oh, watching it happen. And you know what? As a matter of fact, it's hurting their families too, I'm sure. It's got to be stopped. It's gotten to the point where a man can't speak his mind in his own country anymore. As a matter of fact, that's exactly why we have so many foreigners in England. It's a joke. We have 75% minimum too many foreigners in this country. I have no problem saying it. It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. I'm incredibly uncomfortable with it. I do not want that number of people from other current countries in my country. I don't want it. This is my country. Do I hate them? Nope. I'm extremely uncomfortable with them being here. As individuals, I'm sure they're lovely people. I don't want them here though. And they wouldn't want me and 75% of the rest of the world in their country either. Because it's disruptive to the harmony of that country. And we're all being told, oh no, let's sing Kumbaya about it. I don't want to sing Kumbaya about it. I want to sing Rule Britannia in my country, because I love my country and it's strong. But at the moment our country is in the grip of a very bad thing. And feminism is one of the tools of this very bad thing. That's all it is, it's just a tool. It's a weapon. Like any weapon, it can be defeated. It's attacking masculine elements in society, manhood, men. That was the intention of it. Weaken the men in society so that that society can be taken over. And look at the result, people. So if you carry on going along with feminism, women and men, if you carry on going along with it, you'll see more of this destruction. Destruction of morals, destruction of character, destruction of functionality even. The whole of our country is falling apart around us in a pink fluffy sea of disgrace. That's the truth. You can see it. I see it every day. I felt for this man, this Algerian. He was a man. I could see it in his eyes. He had been fleeced. He had been emasculated. He still had his manhood. But that man was hurt. And he had been hurt by the society, by my society. Now he's from Algeria. But he said even in his society, unfortunately things are beginning to lean this way. Geez, we got to stop this. We got to stop it. We have to stop this. If I understood what he said correctly, he came home and found another man with his wife. I don't know exactly what he did, but I know what he should have done. And I know that the government should have supported his actions. That we need a society where it's correct to defend principles. Because without principles you've got nothing. Nothing. And that's what this decay is attacking. All of the principles of the foundations of our society. And you can see people around challenging it now, especially young women. Young women, you can see these lost young women and lost young men who haven't had the direction of proper parenting and a proper society. You can see them. A girl, and I've seen it, girls who are intentionally dressing ridiculously inappropriately. And I've actually gone over to her and said, young lady, do you realise what you're doing? Do you realise how you look? And young men, I see the same thing. Young men, I needed it when I was a young boy. I needed guidance and leadership from older males to teach me what was right and what was wrong. People act up when they don't have any leadership, they don't have any direction, they act up until they find it. The problem is at the moment, with this complete ruination of men's power in society, rightful power, because we are the people with whom the buck stops, that ruination has completely deprived a few generations now of the leadership of their elders. Am I going to say every man in the world is perfect? I am not going to say every man in the world is perfect. But it's up to men to be responsible. Not to have that power pulled away from them, but to have it placed upon them. So that they meet that level of expectation. They meet that responsibility. If you pull that responsibility away from them, if you disempower them, you cripple the whole of society. And you can see it's happening. I see it every single day. And it makes me sick. And this chap I spoke to, this taxi driver, he saw it. It made him sick, but he was rather demoralised. And I'll tell you why. Because he still watches television. I haven't watched television in 20 years. I mean, if it happens to be on in a room where I'm sitting, I'll tolerate it for a few minutes and I'll just vacate as quick as I can, because it's bloody poison. It's poison. It demoralises everyone in society, and the same people who introduced feminism are the same people responsible for pouring that poison into the television, and it's demoralisation. That's all it is. When I grew up, TV was pretty ambivalent. It was benign. There was no poison in it. Occasionally, once in a while, there was something. Now it's 100% poisonous. It is so full of the disgrace of this feminism that I can't stomach it. I will not watch it. I refuse to watch it. I won't have a television. I didn't really mind TV when I was a kid. Now I stay the hell away from it. I stay the hell away from it. And Hollywood, it's extremely rare that I'll watch one of the films produced nowadays. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the youth are making the same decision. They won't watch it. And a lot of them, they're listening to music from my era, the era when I grew up. They're watching movies from my era, the era I grew up in. You know why? Because the poison began after the millennium. Because that's when the people who had been plotting this destructive force in society decided they were going to implement it. They know who they are, and I know who they are. And I can't say who they are, because I'll get busted off of YouTube in a heartbeat. We both, they and I know who they are. And other people, there are other people who know who they are too. Now the truth is, running around after them isn't the answer. The answer's within us. Because they prey upon the weaknesses in society. That's all they can do. They're like Dick Dastardly and wacky racers. They can't win by themselves. They're cheats. They focus on pulling other people down instead of pushing themselves up, trying to maximise their own potential, because they're cowards and they're weak. So, the answer is to be strong. And you need to be a bit self-disciplined. Am I a perfect example? No. But I'm on the road because I figured out what's going on. And that's a fact. I want other people to work with me on solving this problem. And it can be solved, and it will be solved. But there are certain things you have to not be doing. You can't expose yourself to the poisonous, toxic, demoralising media which is intended to perpetuate the problem in people's minds. You can't expose yourself to it. You have to be very selective nowadays with the media that you allow yourself to be exposed to. You have to be. Because it's designed to be poisonous to you, to weaken you. Look at the average depiction of a man nowadays. He's either a hopeless, complete, rude word, in a nasty way, right? Or he's weak. That's not what a man is. A man has to be strong in character, in his potential, in his power, in his personal, in his intelligence, in his intellect, his manner, the way he thinks and feels about everything around him. It's a responsibility. And we're now shoving that responsibility onto women. They can't handle it. It's not in their blood. Women are strong in their own way, that's for sure. A good woman. I got a lot of respect for a good woman. But nowadays, women are being conditioned into being quite nasty, actually, and I don't like it. There are still good women out there, which is good. It shows that innate goodness exists in men and women. I want to see men who have got courage and character stand up, step up, and actually be men and start to have courage in our own society to take control of it. Because the buck stops with us. It rests with us. The government of not only of my country, but of all these countries, they're just full of cowards. They don't do anything. They don't make any decisions. So it's up to us to make the decisions for our own society, what we will and won't tolerate, what we will and won't put up with. And we've got to take opportunities when we can to push and push and push until we get back exactly the amount of control that our grandfathers and our forefathers had in our society. And that's nothing to do with oppressing women. It's about actually being what they need. And they can relax because they will recognise that society is in the hands of decent men, which is where it should be. Not in the hands of corrupt, weak, snivelling, snide snakes posing as leaders. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. I won't put up with it anymore. I won't. So everyone I speak to, whenever I get the chance, I speak the same message to them. That we have to just take control of the world around us. In every way we can. That's what I want to see. But I think, for heaven's sake, people, please stop watching TV. It's a disaster. Men and women, stop watching TV. Stop it. Make your own media if you have to. Let's start communicating with each other. Do what I'm doing. Record YouTube videos. Throw them online, and eventually someone will see them, and then we'll start to understand that the reality is we all feel the same way. And it's only an extreme fringe who don't really understand what the hell's going on and are unfortunately being misled into a position of some sort of power. This has to be stopped. It has to be fixed. Please, I implore you, work with me on the solution. Thank you.